I rise to present, I rise, not everybody rise. Don't worry, sit down. Be seated. At ease. I would like to call first Pat Sullivan and Ed Casey. Mr. President, I noticed St. Patrick's Day was a while ago, but as I spoke at the John Boyle, I forgot which, I spoke 5 times up there 2 weeks ago, and I said, well, every day is St. Patrick's Day in Massachusetts, so we're here. Pat Sullivan was named the John and Agnes Burke Award winner this year, and I thought they were recognized by the state delegation, which I was part of, the federal delegation, and to my knowledge, this is the first time that the city has missed honoring the St. Patrick's Day Award winners. And I thought 2 of the individuals from our city, which was Pat Sullivan, had the John Burke Award, which we know that the mayor calls him the Wizard of Oz. He's done such a great job with our parks, with our schools, and just real go fix it. And the other individual who I've known Ed Casey for a long, many, many years in the city of Springfield, but I really got to know him when we had the tornado. And the work that he did for the whole tornado area in terms of replanting trees and making sure communities were taken care of. And he was the city parade marshal for St. Patrick's Day, which is a high honor. And Ed is such a real, a gentle giant, I call him. He's really a humble man, but really a very hard worker and a very dedicated man to the city of Springfield. And certainly I thought that we should at least recognize them so all our citizens in the city of Springfield could see the dynamic duo, I call them, Sullivan and Casey. So on behalf of this body, Ed Casey, for the work you've done for the city, and it speaks volumes for itself. You don't really need anybody to talk about it, but to be honored the St. Patrick's Day Parade, there's not many of them in the city, but they recognized you, and well-deserved, well thought out, and I'll never forget the work you've done on a daily basis in the city of Springfield, but especially during the tornado time when I called on you many, 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 many times. So Pat, John and Agnes Burke Award winner, Wizard of Oz, as the mayor says, the magic man that always makes things happen. So congratulations from the city council and the city of Springfield. Thank you.
Councilor Walsh.
Mr. President, I just would like to also add my congratulations. I think, this year having Pat and Ed Casey both honored, it really made it a very special parade to have our 2 people from our park department recognized by the entire Springfield Parade Committee, and then, of course, the Holyoke Parade Committee and everybody watching. And I think it must have brought us a lot of good luck because there was finally good weather for that parade. And maybe you can take the credit instead of Sister Jane, but it was great, and congratulations.
Councilor Ash.
Mr. President, just in addition to Councilor Williams and Councilor Walsh, just the great work that you do all year and representative of the Irish community, and I think it was a great acknowledgement. I also would just briefly mention with the work that I think you both did in the 1960 memorial at Forest Park, which is just amazing. So thank you for that as well.
Councilor Roque.
Thanks, Mr. President. I can't think of 2 greater guys to be recognized. Eddie Casey was my neighbor for many years. I know he did a lot of work on the tree belts, and I think he picked me up a couple times off the tree belt. but great guy, great family guy, terrific forester, strong Irish culture. Your dad was a marshal. I think Rory, was your dad? No, in Holyoke?
My dad wasn't.
No, but played the pipers, and great. And same thing with you, Pat, and your daughters have all represented the city great. Just thrilled that you both are being recognized. Thank you very much.
That was very nice.
Councilor Adam.
I'd just like to add on the 2 great guys, and congratulations on all you've done for the city.
You got the
Would you like to say a few words?
cello on Overlook Drive.
I just want to thank Bud for inviting us down. It was a great honor to lead Springfield this year in the parade. I do appreciate my Irish heritage, but I really do appreciate working for you and the citizens of Springfield for caring for the trees. It is something I'm very impassioned about, and it is very nice that Bud wanted to bring us down and recognize us. I'm honored to work for the city and be part of the park system, so thank you very much.
And just to follow what Ed's saying, it was very humbling to receive that award on behalf of the John and Agnes Burke family and for the parade committee. And it's great to be working with all of you on a daily basis, and just proud to be a resident of the city. Thank you.
Oh, very nice.
Very well deserved. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You want to take a picture?
We have one more proclamation.
This is Mr. Benjamin Brown. Been in Springfield many, many years, and he's just retired about a month ago. And he worked for the Springfield Senior Services for 42 years. If you add the other year, it was 43 years. And I'm going to tell you, throughout greater Western Massachusetts, whenever you had a problem that you needed some attention to deal with senior services, because I've used him many, many times for family members, he's always been there. And I remember talking to Ray Jordan that said, when we wanted something done, we called Ben Brown, and he got it done. And his lovely wife is with him. You come on up. This is being televised, so. I go back with Ben many years when he first moved to Springfield, and he would have sports teams, semi-pros teams, playing along with Hawk Connery, Big Will, Joe Frederico, all the great names in the city of Springfield. He used to coach and work with the youth in the city many, many years, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So I thought it'd be nice if we recognize you after 42 years of giving blood, sweat, and tears to the seniors, and they didn't want to let you go. They did not want to let you go, is what was said to me. So Ben, on behalf of this body, we recognize you for the 42 years advocating for senior citizens from the greater Springfield seniors, and wish you the best in health and happiness in the future. Congratulations to you and to your wife. Thank you, Ben.
And thank you. And thank you, Bud. Yeah, I would like to thank Bud Williams, state rep, and other ones too, like Ray Jordan, who was excuse me, I'm losing my voice, who always was there to support me, had my back. You know, I've been around a long time, and I look at a lot of names around here, you know, and the Hearst family I know very well. I basically took care of all of their aunts and Jeanette, the mother, and I've been doing this so long. Not many people that don't know me, but I'd like to thank Bud, and I thank the City Council for recognizing me, and Greater Springfield Senior Service was giving me the opportunity to do what I did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been looting all day.
All right, we will now get started with our regular agenda for the hearings meeting. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilor Edwards. Present. Councilor Allen. Present. Councilor Rowe. Present. Councilor Gomez. Absent. Councilor Walsh. Present. Councilor Marcus Williams. Present. Councilor Ash. Here. Councilor Twiggs. Absent. Councilor Shea. Here. Councilor Fenton. Here. Councilor Hurst. Absent. Councilor Bud Williams. Here. Councilor Ramos.
Present.
Present.
Please rise for a moment of silence. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, all cell phones on silent mode. Reminder from Focus Springfield to turn on your microphones when you're speaking, turn them off when you're not speaking. We have a long agenda ahead of us. We have a grand total of one item on the agenda for tonight. Mr. Clerk, item number 1.
Item number 1 is an application for a special permit for motor vehicle repair and maintenance and used car sales at the property known as 927 Boston Road. This item was before the council on February 27th. It was laid on the table by motion from Councilor Marcus Williams. There was no testimony taken.
No testimony taken at the previous hearing, which means that the proponents will have 20 minutes to present. Opponents will have 20 minutes to rebuttal. So anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
And they have auditing procedures, so it's good.
So anyone here for 927 Boston Road?
Hello. My name is Usman Sheikh, and I have applied for a 35 used car permit plus auto repair facility.
Could you state your address for the record, please?
My address, 927 Boston Road, Springfield, Massachusetts. So I'm looking for a 35 used car permit along with the auto repair license at that facility. I am looking into purchasing the property if the licenses are granted. If I do purchase the property, I'm looking to, clean up the property, painting the front of the building, along with, making the landscaping a little nicer as well. Redoing the office inside as well, putting new furniture, along with painting all the walls, and put hardwood flooring in the office space. So that's what I have in my mind.
Is there anything else you would like to say for the record?
No, not at this time.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Say again, if there's anyone wishing to speak in favor, please step forward. Seeing none. Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Please step forward. Say again, is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Please step forward. Seeing none, I will now close this portion of the hearing. Are there any questions from the council? Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is Bill available?
He is not.
He is not.
He's not available tonight. He did communicate with me in regards to the 35-car request. The only thing that he mentioned in his email was that he was not opposed to a 35-car license.
Mr. President, I am just looking at the special permit as it stands, and it's the last paragraph before the recommendation states that lastly, the staff would recommend that no more than 30 used cars be allowed to be displayed or stored at this location. This would allow for adequate staff and customer parking. So I'm just wondering, the Pine Point Community Council has submitted a letter that all of the councilors do have in front of them, and they also feel, alongside myself, that 35 cars is too many and is not consistent with the original conversation held between Mr. Usman as well as Mr. Dromi. But since he is not here, it might be a moot point, but it's one that needs to be stated nonetheless. Sorry?
No, I don't think we should maybe just make an amendment.
Yeah, if we can make an amendment to have no more than 30 cars, I would certainly stand by that.
All right, the recommendation in the packet, I believe, is 30 cars.
Right.
So you want to leave it as is?
But he stated 35. So if it's written that way, then that's perfectly fine.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions from the council? Any questions for the petitioner before we close the hearing? Councilor Allen.
Mr. President. Sir, can I ask him directly, sir?
You can come up to the microphone.
Hi. Thanks for your application for a good business in our city. Just wondering, are you familiar with the conditions that have been put on this permit? If we vote for this tonight, have you read the conditions?
Yes, I have. And like the only condition that I had an issue with was the 30 used car license. And like I said, I have, been to every single of the other dealerships in the area, and they all seem to have 50 to 60 to 70 cars in each of the lot. I want to be in a somewhat of a competitive position. I have spoken to Phil Dromey a few days ago after the neighborhood council just to get clarification on this, and like you said, he has sent you an email as well. And I asked him, I said, based on the site plan that I have submitted, would 35 cars work? And he said he would not oppose to it. And if you look at the site plan, that's actually on the, I think it's on the page 3rd. We made 15 display cars in the front. We gave 5 customer parking, and then the back lot can hold another 30 cars. So it's a total of 50 cars. So if you minus the 5 for the customer parking, that still leaves with 45 cars. And as you can see, the parking lot is laid out pretty nicely. It's not like a typical used car dealership where there's a car touching a car, So I would request if I can get based on this, if I can get a 35-car permit just to be in a competitive position with other competitions. And the reason for that is, sometimes, let's say, for example, sometimes if you sell 5 to 10 cars, sometimes you go to auctions and you just don't find the cars. You can go for a month at a time and you just won't be able to buy any cars. So that's the whole reason, why I would like to keep a little bit of extra inventory.
Well, I'm glad you had a chance to say your part on that. We just made an amendment to make it 30 cars. That hasn't been passed yet, but the amendment is not to have 35, it's to have 30, just so you know. We got a letter from the neighborhood, and many people, according to the letter, many people had the letter says, we also received dozens of calls and messages from citizens and business owners who do not want to see this license approved. So I don't have any more information on that, but just so you understand what we just did. So we still have to vote on it, but there are other conditions besides the number of cars. What is there now, sir?
What is there right now?
What is there now?
Right now it's currently vacant. It used to be an Amco's transmission place, so they were servicing automobiles.
So they had cars they were working on?
Right.
That they would, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time it's being used as a used car?
Used car / auto repair, that is correct, yes.
Okay, so, and there are other things here about the sign and about storage of junk vehicles and automotive parts and planting, getting rid of the weeds and the debris and all that sort of thing?
Yes, I've read through all of that. And
you're agreeable to all that?
Yes.
Okay. And no banners and streamers, pennants, non-accessory signs?
So does that include the flags as well? Like the flags are not allowed in this town?
Does that mean, I wish Phil was here to answer that, but what do you plan to do, hang a banner or something?
No, like some of the businesses, they have like a flag in the front of it, that kind of nails into the ground. But if the town has an issue with it, I won't do it. It's not a deal breaker or anything.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they'd be allowed because it says no banners, streamers, pennants, or non-accessory signs.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have an issue with that.
And the last thing just says failure to comply may result in denial of the issuance of a building permit and/or occupancy permit, revocation of any permit that you have, or enforcement by code enforcement. So make sure you're familiar with that, because we want you to be successful, whatever. If you get the vote tonight, we don't want you to be successful.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that I've been, throughout this process, in touch with Mr. Usman, and he's been certainly very communicative to us, including this Pine Point Community Council, and I do appreciate that. I think you are a reputable man who has prior experience in this industry, which certainly helps. But I will say, on the back end, that I have also received several calls about this establishment for the sake of it not already being an existing used car lot. So the usage for the space is changing. And then, there were some questions about, has the tenant looked at other, used car lots that are not currently operating, and has he explored those before settling for this primetime location? And I just kind of want all of the councilors to kind of consider that as well. It was certainly not a unanimous vote. It was a 4-3 split from the Pine Point Community Council with 2 members missing. Like I said, Mr. Usman has been nothing but reputable and communicating his plans to us. But in terms of the Pine Point community, which is shared by both Ward 8 and Ward 5, there's certainly been a long, extensive list of calls and messages, even on Facebook, about this particular property.
Are there any other questions for the petitioner? All right. Before they close the public hearing, are there any final questions for the petitioner? Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing. Are there any final comments from the council? Councilor Allen.
Yeah, just a question. It says they're applying for 2 special permits, a motor vehicle repair and a second one to sell used cars. So we're going to have 2 votes or one?
This is one vote on special petition.
Thank you.
Any final comments, amendments? Councilor Fenton.
Mr. President, I just want to say that the property owner is here tonight, Gina Daniele, who's also a small business owner on Main Street in downtown Springfield. And I want to thank Ms. Daniele for her and her family's continued investment and commitment to the city of Springfield. Thank you for all that you've done for the South End community. And I have every faith and confidence that a lot of the issues that Councilor Williams was pointing out will be addressed in the future with these new petitioners. So I intend to support this tonight.
Thank you. Councilor Bud Williams.
I'll just echo my dear friend here from Ward 2.
Make a motion to approve the special permit as amended by Councilor Marcus Williams.
Second.
The motion was not amended. It was the motion.
The permit was 430. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve the special permit as amended.
All right. This is a request for a special permit. 9 votes are needed for approval. If it does not get approved, the petitioner will be prevented from returning for 2 years. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
There is no amendment. The permit is for 30 cars. On approving the special permit, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Rook.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Gomez, absent. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Marcus Williams.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Ash.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Twiggs, absent. Councilor Shea.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hurst, absent. Councilor Bud Williams.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Ramos.
Yes. More than sufficient. Special permit is approved. Councilor Edwards, on the conditions? On the reasons, I'm sorry.
The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. The use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. To incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of finding.
All those in favor of the reasons say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, is there any other further business before the council?
There's no further business.
Seeing none, we will now stand adjourned until our next meeting. Mr. Clerk? 3rd? April 3rd. All right, thank you.